This is Pilleater, and I recorded this on September 2nd, 2022. Rickyisms and language. What Ricky of Trailer Park Boys teaches us about language. This article was originally published on September 1st, 2022 on pilleater.substack.com. It is read by me, Pilleater. Ricky is a fictional character from the Canadian comedy show Trailer Park Boys. The show is a mockumentary, or fake documentary, about the white lower class of Nova Scotia. The red-headed Ricky is known for his outburst and arrogant character. While the audience may laugh at his antics, the character provides wisdom about language, alternatives to logic, and how we can never trust the text. For the first example, there is an episode where Ricky is in jail and explains to the director his own competence and intelligence. The clip can be viewed here.
The thing with me is that I am smart, and I'm self-smarted, basically, by myself. Basically from nature and smoke and drugs and doing different things, I've self-learned myself. And that's the whole difference, I guess, is that I don't need the books or the schooling type things. I just get everything on my own, and because of that, I'm alive right now. I mean, if I had read more books or tried to go on to college and different things like that, I'd be dead right now, because people say books in college are for to be to make you smarter, but they can also be for to be to get you dead, which is what could have happened to me. My brain doesn't use enough oxygen because I don't have the whole thing filled with different stuff. And if it was full, it's only part full, and that's why I'm alive right now. Guards are giving here, can you read this book, try to get smarter. And I'm like, all right, I'll pretend to read it, but I'm not going to really read it because then my brain will be more full, and if I have another heart attack, I'm going to die.
We laugh that Ricky uses his own Rickyisms to explain his own actions through poor word choices and logic. Ricky believes he is self-smarted, or intelligent in his own right, through his own experiences, where it justifies that he should never read books, because it is a painful process to him. The surrogate, however, is through nature and drugs, which he believes are just as good as consuming books, quote-unquote. The painful mental struggle with learning and surviving college means that Ricky would actually be dead, and he is much safer existing in his own reality, which he is grateful for. Ricky is willing to pretend to read a book just to satisfy a prison guard in fear that he could die. We all laugh at this incoherent stupidity. However, what is Ricky really saying about epistemology? Ricky is confident with his own empirical upbringing. It wasn't so much he was having fun in the process of learning, but he is confident with his own knowledge of the world, or his own solipsism. Ricky doesn't want to learn if he is struggling or in pain, but rather wants to feel good about his own environment, understanding, and language. Consider other Rickyisms that are found throughout the show. Often Ricky will mispronounce words, get metaphors wrong, and express himself with the highest confidence. There's a video compilation of such Rickyisms which can be viewed at this link. Look or read some of the examples of Ricky's language.
I just don't know how to express myself sometimes when I need to be properly different. Fuck. Number one, we're on probation, which is no big deal, but, I don't really want to go back to jail. And number 2 or 3 or whatever number we're on, he's getting all frustrated, and you can go to college and get your little PFD or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care. Just remember, Leahy, what comes around is all around.
Don't you mean what's all around comes around, Ricky?
It's pretty effed up if you can't leave our daughter with my father for half an hour.
Well, it's pretty effed up. The last time Ray took care of Trinity, she came home all effed up.
She had a few effing drinks. Hey, Leahy, knock knock.
Who's there, Rick?
Mr. Stupidity Head that's fucking pissing me off right now thinks he's the captain of the shitliner, and by the way, your fish sticks suck, so fuck off. Looks like a tropical earthquake blew through here or something, man. What the fuck are you looking at, huh? Don't fucking stare at me. Leave my cat alone. Don't fucking stare at me.
He's gonna give us homemade hot dogs when we're finished putting the signs up.
I'm gonna give you some homemade fuck-offs right now. What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about. Hey, Sam, knock knock.
Who's there?
Get the fuck off the stage, you idiot. Supply and command. Through denial and error, probably say knock knock, you'd say who's there, and you'd say a fucking idiot and tell you to fuck off. That's what I'd do. Like little Piranhagus. It's piranha, Rick. That's what I said, Piranhagus. But the other thing is, it's a catch-23 situation. It's not a ladybug, it's a caterpillar. Same as some of those sweet and powdered chicken things. And getting caught masturbating sucks. Like, I get caught masturbating in jail 7 or 8 times, and it really sucks. Make like a tree and fuck off. But you make my words, I'm gonna get my grade 10. Child reports? What? What's an aptitude test?
Suitability test, Ricky.
Well, I'll wear a suit if I have to. I don't care. How to get bourbon stains out of kahaki pants?
It's khaki, Ricky. It's a color.
Whatever. This is fucked, Leahy.
Why don't you go home, Rick?
Why don't you fuck off? Go get some hyposuction. I just don't understand investments. I told you that.
Ricky! 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 That's willful destruction of garbage! Ricky! Jeez!
Oh, well, Leahy was my mother's maiden name. And...
Her maiden name?
Yeah.
Her maiden name.
What in the fuck are you dressed up like a bumblebee for? And why do you look like Indianapolis Jones? It's like he's got these things going on upstairs in his brain compartment that aren't working properly. He's got these fucking psychological shit going on, and you better fucking watch himself, I tell you, 'cause he's gonna fucking get hammered. I'm fucked over for being a Luxury kid. It doesn't take rocket appliances to realize all you gotta do is take a fucking chain, hook it up to a truck, and yank the fucking vacuum machine out of the store. Gorilla, see gorilla. Do you have a search warranty?
What, do you own space? No, NASA does.
Exactly. Get two birds stoned at once. Look, I know right now I'm supposed to swallow my prize, but I'm fucking pissed off, man. They cheated. Apparently it's clear to see who makes the pants here. Sorry, boys. What if he has rabies?
Ricky, it's rabies with a B, not rabies.
Basically peach and cake. But Julian doesn't grow, won't burn him. I'm just stretched out. Home trees, boys. And he passed with flying fucking carpets. Breaker, come in Earth. This is rocket ship 27. Aliens fucked over the carbonator on engine number 4. I'm gonna try to refuculate it and land on Juniper. And hopefully they got...
Ricky is trying to project his own language through mimicry and sound. Frustration is now frustrated. Caterpillar is cantapillar. The psychological is psychological, and so on. Even though the cultural sayings and popular cultural references, he mixes them up as Catch-22 is Catch-23 and Indiana Jones is Indianapolis Jones. And Ricky constructs new verbs for the words he can't even remember. We may laugh and ridicule Ricky's stupidity, but taking a closer look, we also understand how language is constructed and put into application. Ricky wants to say he thinks differently, but does not have the intelligence level to express himself in that way. He is not aware of logic or sequence, but aware of simple pleasures and casual communication. He knows something bad is happening, but has to make up surrogate words, or words he knows by association, as an explanation. Call it illiteracy, but Ricky's intelligence still shines through his sheer ability to interact with his own environment. Ricky wants to be left alone in nature and consume the things that makes him happy. Language isn't so much about clarity, but a hidden truth about how people construct their own environment inside their mind. Back to Ricky's solipsism, we understand his words are about sounding similar to the objective words around him. The acronym of NASA, N-A-S-A, is pronounced NASA for Ricky, because that's what it looks like to him by intuition, without rules or any awareness. Ricky believes raccoons are rakins. A rakin is not the same raccoon we understand and see, objectively observing. To Ricky's mind, he might see them as beaky-nosed cats. With that implies the raccoon has an ideological different signifier, unlike our own, based upon a consensus reality. How are beaky-nosed cats different from the raccoons we often associate in our own mind at this present time? Ricky sees the rakins as cuddly creatures, as we see the raccoons as garbage pests. We can laugh and recorrect Ricky's mistakes, but that ridicule won't change the ideological assumptions that raccoons for Ricky's are beaky-nosed creatures. It is through popular culture and the influence of lower class culture as well that transforms and shapes Ricky's understanding of the world. We must pick apart the ideological origins of words and the historical etymology of Ricky's logic, pronunciation, and word choice. How has popular culture influenced him? Why does he associate Indiana Jones to Indianapolis? Why is fire golfing? What is a search warranty compared to Ricky's understanding of other warranties? Why is it supply and command than supply and demands? Can we connect the word demand to different logical outcomes of Ricky's understanding of the world? Why is it a mating name than a maiden name? Why does Ricky think that people mate when they change their name? We can take the text and reveal the inner meaning behind it through understanding the euphemisms and the cultural anthropology around Ricky's language. Maybe we have to use normal people words in order to communicate and write down a world philosophy that Ricky wants to share with us, but has poorly developed communication skills in doing so. When considering the discipline and art of cultural anthropology, we can make an investigation inside a culture and deconstruct the language to observe a hidden truth. Ricky, with enough intelligence and awareness, could be trying to explain something to us we don't understand. However, we can also be doubting the author himself and confront the poor language he is conveying at us. Enough outside criticism could actually help Ricky, as we are countering his ethics in translations. In other words, while we may find it hilarious Ricky is so dumb and illiterate, we still deconstruct his language and find a greater truth about his culture, thought process, and abstractions about the world. This entire time, Ricky is actually referring to raccoons, and we didn't even know it. He threw us a story about Racons, yet with enough clue and hints around that we obviously know it isn't Racons, this wasn't the case. Language is tricky because often we trust the author way too much and never reclaim our own sanity as the reader. We think words mean what they look like and how they are conveyed. We trust the author without ever considering doubt. How do we know he is actually throwing the knives, or writing the story with his own authorship awareness, when we ourselves are not doubting that? Ricky is nothing more than an imaginary character portrayed by an actor, Rob Wells. Wells is playing a trick on us and wants us to believe he is in control of every action Ricky is doing. But is it really him? Maybe Rob Wells is Ricky. Therefore, we should doubt Wells, because Wells is Ricky. With that assumption, think of similar people in similar socioeconomic standings, like in Trailer Park Boys, that the character Ricky is based upon. Ricky is a role model or representation of the lower income classes of Canada. Perhaps he is someone who is suffering from PTSD, verbal abuse, and he is a reflection of the depraved state of those who are exploited. Rickyism is an ideological language about abuse and about those who are stubborn, impulsive, and downright evil. No longer is it a joke about stupidity, but a serious topic addressing abusive families in lower income white areas. To fully understand someone, we must speak and think like them too. Afterwards, we can then doubt the author and pry bigger questions about what really is going on in the language. Ricky could have said he learned on his own, but he told us and said he was self-smarted. Is the change in rhetoric any different from the intelligence level of the author? Or the author's reliability? Only then do we have bigger questions for shady answers.